I'd love to say that we've got a competitive test series in front of us, but I'm struggling to say it. India have become a powerhouse at home. Bangladesh in recent times have been struggling in the longer format of the game. They're without two key players. All of India's top players are in form. I'm afraid it's looking like there's one side that's going to dominate much more than the other. Indeed, India's home record now, 11 series wins in a row at home, well placed to win a 12th, is now starting to look very similar to Australia's home record in the 2000s. That is when Australia were at their peak. We all looked up to Australia, didn't we? And said, that is how we must all seek to play the game. Look how many times they get 400, 500 plus, how they knock over sides. The numbers between the two are now revealing, and that's an idea of how good India have been at home in recent times, where India have managed to beat England, have managed to beat Australia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, New Zealand. India have beaten all the teams that have come to India, and that's what makes Bangladesh's challenge that much more difficult. India have a win percent of 73% to Australia's 76%. Now, over 40-50 test matches, that's just a handful of games here and there. That's not a huge difference. You look at the number of times they've won by an innings, there's hardly any difference there. You look at the number of times teams have gone past 500. Look at, even more interestingly, the number of times in those 48 tests that India have got the opposition out for under 200. 36 times. Now, if Bangladesh thought that they're coming to India and they're going to have to get used to playing on turners, play against spin, and if anything, Bangladesh bowl even more spin than India do, they could go into test matches with 4 spinners, then here's a stat that'll worry Bangladesh. In the last 2 series that India have played, India's fast bowlers were taking a wicket every 5 overs. Against a better batting side, South Africa, in Indian conditions, and the fast bowlers are taking a wicket every 6 overs. There is no respite. You get away from the fast bowlers, you've got Ashwin and Jadeja, masters of home conditions. The ball starts to reverse, you've got Shami, you've got Umesh, and Ishant is probably bowling the best of his career. You look at the ICC rankings as well, and I know I'm focusing more on numbers than on names because the numbers are telling such a powerful story. India's top 5 batsmen feature in the top 25 in the ICC rankings. Bangladesh don't have a single one. Their first is Mushfiqur Rahim. He comes in at 36. They might have had some representation if Tamim and Shakib were there, but no Tamim, no Shakib. And I think they'll miss them so much more. In T20 cricket, where 15-20 balls can make a difference, a Naeem can come in and, dare one say so, actually replace a Shakib and play an innings that Shakib could be proud of. But in the test match game, we've got to counter conditions. Experience becomes so handy. I think they'll miss Tamim and Shakib much more than they will than they would have in the T20 format. With the bowling itself, India have 5 bowlers in the top 25. Bangladesh have just a couple coming in right at the end, one at 23, one at 25. But there are other qualitative issues as well. In the series against South Africa, Virat Kohli got a double 100, Mayank Agarwal got a double 100, Rohit Sharma got a double 100. There were a couple of 50s for Cheteshwar Pujara, a century for Ajinkya Rahane. All of India's top 5 batsmen are in very good form indeed. We've talked about the bowlers. Bangladesh, on the other hand, they made a strange choices, Captain. I saw Mahmudullah captaining in the T20s, and he just looked more assured. In his last 7 tests, he's averaging 48 as a batsman. Mushfiqur Rahim, the other vastly more experienced players. His numbers against India are far better than his numbers against anybody else. And that's not just in T20 cricket. You can see that in test match cricket as well. And Bangladesh have appointed Mominul Haq as captain. I remember the first time I saw Mominul Haq, I was very impressed. I thought he was a spunky player. I thought he was solid, he was resilient, he was reliable, he had all the qualities in test match cricket. But his away record bears no comparison to his home record. In his last 11 innings away, he's averaging under 7. So one thing you will say that Mominul Haq will do better than that in this series, but when the captain himself is under so much pressure to score runs, then it's not great for the side that he is leading. India have played Bangladesh 9 times, haven't they? 7 times India have won, thrice by an innings, twice by 100 plus, twice by 9 wicket plus margins, 2 rained off games. Everything seems to be stacked against Bangladesh. So what can they do? Maybe they should just take the field and say, you know what? All these bloggers on CricBus think we've got no chance. Let's go play with an open mind. Let's play with a lot of freedom. They should have won. I thought they should have won the T20 series. I know it's a different contest, but let's go and play in a similar manner. If there's a turning track, let's use our spinners to get in. But it sounds very well. I think they're going to struggle. I'll be very, very surprised if India don't wrap up this series very quickly and register their 12th series win in a row.